This video is sponsored by Mantis Sleep.
Welcome to a brand new beginning, you sorry
That is exactly what Ubisoft said to the entire AC community when they dropped Origins. And to be fair, it was needed. Unity was a rough, busted diamond, Syndicate was just an holdover piece, and Ubisoft were still struggling to find direction in their franchise with their leads Desmond and Ezio gone. Much like The Walking Dead after Rick left the show. If AC was to survive, it needed to evolve, and we saw hints of this evolution in Unity and Syndicate. Now we're finally here. The insanely large, sometimes bloated RPG era of AC. This is my first time playing these games, so I'm coming at this from a modern lens. I might be just a little harsh on Origins because this game hasn't aged as well as its predecessors. But that's just because I loved the promise of this game more than the execution. Doing it right, Ubisoft, hitting us with Bayek's motif right from the start. This might be the most memorable theme introduced in AC since Ezio's family. A feather in Origin's cap is the love these two share, and they don't shy away from that.
I thought Magi's was supposed to protect the Pharaoh. I am Magi to no Pharaoh.
Origins doesn't give two hootin' nannies. I know most stories want to start in media res to hook the audience, and goddamn did Origins take it up to 110%. Talk about feeling lost. I really thought I skipped a cutscene or something. But hey, with a game that averages 50 hours, we gotta get going.
This. I can read my own name, Nat.
Okay, so it's like that. Our new protagonist is freaking insane. I'm down.
In your sleep. I just wait in the shadows, and I will kill you all. Everyone who sniffed the air that day in Siwa!
Abubakar Salim sells me on Bayek right away. I knew he was beloved, and it's mostly from this performance alone. Because, if we're being honest, the script isn't carrying this character as much as the performance is. And if you want a mask that puts you to sleep as well as this one, then look no further than Mantis Sleep. Mantis Sleep has hands down been the best thing that has come my way for quality of life improvements. I use the Mantis Sleep Pro mask every night. As a side sleeper, the Pro is especially designed for this purpose. But there's also the regular sleep mask for the all-around sleepers, a mask with built-in earbuds to block out noise, and guys, I finally got it. With these summer days getting hotter and hotter, you're going to want to stay cool, so the Silk mask offers a lightweight, soft, and breathable night of rest. These masks have been especially helpful as I'm already asleep when my partner gets home, and she doesn't have to worry a lick about turning on any lights. They're super lightweight, breathable, and most of all, comfortable. After breaking it in, the mask just morphs onto my head, and I don't even realize I'm wearing it. And they're super compact, easily rolled up and tossed into a bag to bring on airplanes, to the in-laws, or my favorite, camping trips. I've almost pulled a Pokemon and collected them all, and I truly believe this product makes life better, and I'm really excited to try out the Silk masks here soon. Join me in the pro-nap movement as working two jobs. Lord knows I need it, and Mantis Sleep is perfect for that midday shut-eye. I would 100% recommend and encourage you to try out Mantis Sleep, as I can guarantee you will not regret it. Use my links in the pinned comment and description to get 10% off your order using code GAMING and join the uninterrupted dark side of good sleep. And I gotta hand it to Ubisoft. I may be lost as hell, but I'm already controlling Bayek and fighting some big-ass dude. Take us back to AC1 and we have the slow tutorial on how just the basic mechanics work. And look at it, it's glorious. If you didn't play Harry Bayek, you didn't play him right.
No rest. Not until all the masked one's guts lie baking in the sand.
Love a little direction like this. Bayek touching a scarification, symbolizing what the Order of Ancients has taken from him, now visibly a part of him, forever. When this game was announced, I know everyone's first thought was, how does this work with most of Egypt being a giant desert? The way Ubisoft is able to shrink down the world and still make the vastness of the desert apparent deserves praise. On that note, there was a time people didn't believe an AC game could work without there being a concrete jungle to climb around on. Between AC3 and Black Flag, Ubisoft was setting up the transition with their climbing systems, working more with the natural world, which brings us to Origins, where everything is climbable, and there isn't that reliance on cities to make the maps interesting, opening up the possibilities of time periods. I still want my World War AC game, Ubi. You want to do it. I see you with these freaking offshoot missions.
Your children.
The villagers are drained of life.
Dang, even Bayek is roasting on how Ubisoft handles NPCs. I kid.
Rest, my friend.
It has been a difficult day. I have no interest in rest.
This opening is almost overwhelming with how quick we get into everything. It's a delicate balance to set up the plot and mechanics for a game, while also not destroying the pacing to let the player just play. Origins goes nuclear and wants us to have the open world in our hands as quickly as possible, even faster than Bethesda games, I'd argue, which is crazy when you think about it. I love the symbolism of Majunamon, unable to use the apple that dominates wills, so he just forcefully does it himself, reflecting the ancients' unenlightenment, for lack of a better term, and their brutality.
I need to hunt for leather.
We love Far Cry 3. So the new combat and stealth for Origins is definitely hit and miss. If you love it, great, but personally I was severely disappointed by it. It's held back by its leveling system. Assassinations no longer instant kill by default, which is like, why? And combat is weightless and comes down to if your numbers are big enough to be allowed to kill certain characters. It took a system that was more a rhythm game in previous AC titles and shifted it to a hack and slash game. And that is fine if the hack and slash feels good, which it really struggles here. Now, to its credit, it's not all bad. We get plenty of skills to flesh out combat, and we still get a parry, thank Anubis, and it is quite satisfying coming back to the older areas all beefed up just to roll low-level foes. But again, it is not for everyone. People who enjoyed AC in the past for its pick up and play, go through the main story and put it down, were in for a shock when they started having to manage their level and gear before progressing. This shift to RPG is a whole can of worms we'll be discussing throughout the video. The feather comes from Egyptian culture. When one has passed into the afterlife, their hearts are weighed against a feather to determine their fate. If their heart was lighter, they'd be spared and passed on to the field of reeds. If not, devoured by a met. This is another thing that is passed down and became a part of just general Assassin's culture, especially considering that later Assassins do what they do out of necessity, not because they want to, at least to a point. We all know our future Assassins aren't squeaky clean.
What is one boy?
What is one boy?
Papa?
Ubisoft smartly doesn't take any longer than an hour to introduce us to our main plot hook on the why of everything that we're doing. Though I complained about the pacing being fast and confusing, I still would have loved if we pieced Bayek's backstory throughout the first act, with these memory corridor scenes and with Aya. Still, getting us cozy and getting us to play in the open world is better than just starting us with Bayek giving his son a late abortion.
You always get too scared.
Hey. Hey. Let's go on a real hunt.
Aw, good pop's coming in to save his son from embarrassment and show the Jedi Padawan what to really be afraid of.
The first Magi was a protector of the Pharaoh. But now, it means you must protect all the people of Egypt.
I love how the title of Magi carries over in the Brotherhood's ideals. Things like these don't come from a vacuum, and we get to see every little thing that comes into play for the Brotherhood in this game. It's like it's freaking supposed to show us the origins or something.
What did your father say?
Jump.
I was totally expected to hear Faith. I've mentioned this in previous AC videos, but I love seeing that many of the traditions we find in our lives don't come from super symbolic and righteous moments. Most of the time, it's something silly or even a mistake that's been glorified over the ages, such as losing the ring finger. More on that later. But here we get some origins for the leap of faith. It wasn't some grand moment for Bayek, but just his pesky father trying to make a man out of him.
Trust me, you can.
I do. I will.
Jump then.
It does lead back to faith, though, in the grand scheme. Kimu needing faith in his father that he will be okay if he does jump.
Papa, I can get it to you.
No, come on, don't.
This is so heartbreaking as Kimu just wanted to make his dad proud, to show him that he can be brave. Now that's a pretty hardcore origin story. Origin's plot is fueled much by the same factors as Ezio's, and I find that's by design. Made even more tragic that it was Bayek's hand that did it instead of being manipulated. Notice the apple appearing in his hand. An actual apple, referring to the apple of Eden, but also the apple that tempted Eve in the garden, since that has always been a long-standing symbol for AC. Bayek giving into his anger, using the apple as a weapon, much like Majunamon.
May the Hidden One greet you. The Lord of the Duat awaits.
Referring to the Egyptian god Amun, i.e. the Hidden One, a god to the Egyptians, the only connection I could find as to why Bayek takes on the title for the creed is that Amun was a champion of the downtrodden and upheld justice. Also, when Amun later fuses with the god of the sun Ra, you can see how the Hidden One works in tandem with the light, and how all of the symbolism is connected to how the assassins operate.
Layla, are you with me? Habibti.
Whoa, we getting a name protagonist for our modern day? Finally! It seems Ubisoft finally caved and realized that the modern day isn't something they could just keep paying lip service to, and that they need to do something.
I wrote a tragic comic pastoral epic centered on him.
Alright, Bayek is great. You know, I knew he was an ally of ours because of the red sash. Instant assassin right there.
I missed you.
I love how these two display their love with not an ounce of shame, and Ubisoft wants it on a full display. It's not often we see video game characters, especially AC ones, that are just all over each other like this, and we need to buy into it and really understand how strong their bond is for the breaking of the fellowship we get later and to really matter to us.
We only have each other. Without him, what?
Ooh, Aya does everything she can to avoid speaking of their son. This will come up constantly, and this plays heavily into the relationship dynamic and why they eventually must split.
You are scarred by justice.
I bludgeoned Medunamun with this.
I hate that we have to do these things. But I am grateful that you did.
If I am honest, I took pleasure in it.
And we cut away to what we assume are them doing the nasty. You'll notice that after many of the kills, they get their freak on. Aya says they hate that they must do this, but Bayek takes pleasure in it. It reads as if they are almost getting off in their revenge journey, almost like they are doing these things for the wrong reason and using vengeance for their son as a shield to justify their actions. Is what I would say if there was any nuance to the baddies we take down. They bad dudes. They gotta die and people be horny. I don't blame them.
It's an ancient blade that killed the tyrant Xaxes.
A little hint that AC Origins goes back even further, hinting to Odyssey, which we actually have known since the vault under Monteregione in AC2, where we find out the first recorded use of the hidden blade. Foreshadowing his mistake in losing his finger, not just from Aya's rashness and experience with this weapon, but also because dude is just wearing it wrong. When Darius wielded it, he wore it atop his forearm and used it more as a weapon. This is the first step to the hidden blade being, well, hidden and for assassination. Oh fuck, that trill of Bayek's theme goes so hard. And this is what I was talking about earlier. A moment born of incompetence and desperation became a tradition for generations that took on its own meaning posthumously. This moment I see as the biggest moment that is symbolic of the whole that is AC Origins. The ring finger we traditionally reserve for the one we love most. With Bayek losing that finger due to a weapon used to serve the justice given by the woman whom he would have saved that finger for, represents what the relationship has and will become. That finger has now been reserved for the Creed, for their lust for vengeance for the son. This moment can almost be read as a perversion of what they are fighting for. Actions born out of love for their son has devolved into this, not what the Creed we know and love stands for. This game's story shows the rocky road it was to get the Creed to where it is today. This is shown more bluntly in the Hidden Ones DLC, where Bayek is still working out what the Creed should be, and has to contend with Galamet, and creates the first tenet of the Creed.
It is worth the loss to slay the snake at last.
And we're seeing where Bayek's true love lies right now.
The snake will never die.
Just like every Order of the Ancient or Templars, we're treated to the fact that you can't just kill an ideology. This is something laid out in the Hidden Ones DLC as well. And after the snake says this, we're greeted by Camus' body. He's not just talking about their order, but also the shadow of what Bayek has done will never leave him, no matter how much he tries. It's no coincidence that the first two kills we achieve with Bayek have an apple and snake symbol in them. We're watching Bayek struggle with the temptation of vengeance being the answer to all the slights against him, and no river of blood will ever be deep enough to sate him. This is why we must create the Creed, create something bigger than himself to dig himself out of this pit. The climbing has gotten some criticism from most about being super dumbed down, but I think it's fine. We can climb anywhere now, and that's pretty handy, and still does the job. It's not the amazingly animated beauty of Unity for sure, but for a more chunky RPG, it's pretty darn good. Aya never addresses Bayek's finger being missing, showing how far down this rabbit hole they really are.
Your adrenaline and BP are elevated, and it's affecting your heart rate and hormonal markings. Serotonin and oxytocin in particular.
Ew, they finally address it. Every time Ezio fricked, so did Desmond. Screw video games. Abstergo is one step away from some weird Westworld wish fulfillment.
Where is my opium pipe?
What? Ubisoft not holding back on the truth of Cleopatra. A baddie and a druggie. According to Romans, at least.
Aya, you have chosen well.
I would take me a slice of that Bayek cake.
You were meant to kneel.
He's so silly. But also, Bayek does not kneel. Another reason he was the right man to start the creed.
We do not know what your efforts are.
Eudorus was a member of the Order of Ancients. They are responsible for my exile. They tore me from my throne.
I love how this version of Cleopatra just commands any scene that she's in. She doesn't mince words and is quick as a whip. I really respected her and just knew she was up to no good. No one that smart would keep someone as influential as Bayek and Aya around. I enjoy getting the next 20 or so of our hours being set up right quick. Not everyone is in love with Ubisoft's modern game design, but there is a purpose behind it. Having the story missions spread out like this pushes us to explore the entire open world and at our own pace. This is part of that shock that OG AC fans might be feeling, having a less focused narrative that's more keen on having excuses to engage with the gameplay rather than hard-hitting story beats. Now that's really neat. That wasn't some cool visual for the audience. Bayek was actually seeing this through eagle vision. Seeing his son as the head the snake wraps around just shows you how personal this quest is for Bayek.
We need decisive action. It is time for assassinations.
She said it! She said the thing!
We still have not found the man who killed Remu.
Girl, aren't you looking right at him?
Trapped in the shimmering sand, your mind and body pounded by the remorseless sun.
Foreshadowing. Just about all the targets Bayek goes after has some element of children involved, whether directly or not. I love how we get to see his parental aspect shine through, doing for these kids what he couldn't for his son.
I beg the gods forgive me.
Ooh, Bayek got lucky here not to drink that poison.
We could restore this land to glory.
With the way the Scarab speaks, I feel like I should have seen it coming that he was being sneaky. The words coming out of his mouth sound much like a Templar cause. If you listen close enough, you'd be able to pick up on it, but I totally went over my head the first time around.
We saw vultures and a hyena and so much sand.
Enough sand to fill a lifetime. That is why we need so many to help us with our great work.
A little not the Calisette since they're working together. And you hear that? Great work. Ubisoft really just lets us sit here for a long time if we can't figure out what to do, and I love that. Too often are we just handed the solution in these big AAA games.
They should have stayed in the shadows.
Bayek learning lesson 1 of being an assassin.
Oh, the desert will blow in and scatter the dream of Netopolis like dust.
God, he's just so cool.
It is up to you to raise your boy into the light, out of the blood and shadows of his father's legacy. I'm sorry, my son.
I love that beat. We see the possible wise mentor of all the assassins fade away to a grieving father who knows all too well the type of pain they're in.
We could retire to Lesbos with this amount of gold.
Is that a reference to Odysseus? That's gotta be a reference to Odysseus.
We crawl through Hades to deliver it if we have to.
Ah, knowing your audience.
Pompey's armies will give Cleopatra the throne. They mean to prevent the alliance before it happens. We must hurry.
I like how Aya is utilized throughout Origins. She's our lens into the Greek side of the time period, and Bayek the Egyptian. With how important the Greeks were to the shaping of Ptolemaic Egypt, and how much everyone loves the Greeks, it was the perfect call to set Origins Egypt during the Ptolemaic.
Alliance with Cleopatra is a union of true power. She wants more than an ally. She seeks a king.
The more AC games we get, the more insane the timeline becomes. It's just that the Assassins and Templars have been at the heart of every single important moment in history. It is the kind of insane shit we love video games for. Seriously, from ancient Greece to World War I, we've got them. Origins' version of the AC theme goes hard as fuck. Hearing Bayek's theme interspersed in it as he was the one to birth the creed is genius. Made better that Bayek's theme stands on its own, and we don't officially hear the AC theme until the end.
About the hyena.
Ah, funny. As it turns out, that happens to be the most expensive thing I'm offering.
Funny indeed.
Truly funny. Guy's a real salesman, just doesn't got the inventory. Say what you will about Ubisoft, but goddamn, they know how to craft an open world. The scale of the pyramids is awe-inspiring, and seeing them still have their smooth limestone, marble, and gold peaks is beautiful.
Good. Stronger than mine.
I thought you said it was yours.
Yes, of course it is.
I love this guy, taking advantage of an opportunity when he sees it. You should try being a politician. The absolute scale of the Giza pyramids is dizzying and unassuming. Even when I was almost to the base, they didn't feel that big until I noticed the blocks being as tall as Bayek. That's when it really hit me. It may sound silly, but I don't think any other structure in AC conjured such a feeling of vertigo like the pyramids. It reminded me a lot of climbing the wall in God of War Ragnarok. It felt endless and that I would never actually reach the top. Having the pyramids swallow up the camera and seeing nothing but limestone for minutes was unreal. But when you finally summit, watching all of Egypt creep into view is one of the highlights everyone has to do in AC Origins.
Camp out here.
Fun. I am directly beneath.
Khalisat must be inside.
Exploring the inside of the pyramids isn't as awe-inspiring as climbing them, but still cool nonetheless, and unsurprising to find the Isu have a temple down here. Just like the Assassins and Templars, the Isu gotta have their dirty fingers in everything. Oh, so Bayek's Eagle Vision is just Batman Arkham
She
Origins
began by
level
calling
of
to Osiris with these offerings, and ended the ritual with one final prayer over the sarcophagus. Khalisat must be trying to bring someone back to life.
Now, you may notice an interesting trend with these 4 targets Cleopatra sent us after. I've already noted they all involve children to a degree, but they also represent different parts of Bayek in relation to his son. With the Scarab, we see a father who wants to build a better world, but not just for its sake, but also for his child. We see his son building little crafts, wanting to be just like his dad, much like how Camus wanted to be just like Bayek. This is why Bayek warned the mother to raise the son right, as if he was with his father, he would have been just the same. And here with the hyena, we see her desperately trying to resurrect her child, something that Bayek would jump in a heartbeat to if he was able.
In pursuit of the impossible, Khalisat! No measure of magic can bring our children back!
When I was playing it, I didn't care much for these missions, as they were very go here, kill the bad guy, and the presentation isn't doing it much. But thematically, I'm loving what they're doing with Bayek and his journey of grief.
I wanted to protect my daughter in life and death.
Poor Bayek, learning the hard truth all assassins do of the war they're fighting. It's only a mere mirror image of themselves that they will forever question if they're on the right side of history. Bayek bringing out the feather with every kill is also symbolic of him being Osiris, god of the afterlife, as it was he who would weigh the hearts of the dead. Bayek is now filling that space. Couple that with the fact that Osiris is torn apart, you could equate that to Bayek losing parts of himself, physically, sure, with his finger, but also his soul. Camus dying, Aya and him splitting, and also let's not forget Osiris was the working title for Origin. Only a video game character would look so sexy with that whack-ass side pony. But it's not like his hair is all long evenly. The side opposite of the pony is like shaved. When you notice it, you'll never unsee it.
My wife, Timehotep, has miscarried 3 times this year. She's with child again, but if she loses a 4th...
Now, we've got a family trying again and again to have another child, and no matter what they try, they just cannot, like they do the poison from the lizard. A luxury Bayek and Aya never considered as a grief and anger for Camus is too much to possibly think about in the future. The lizard section heavily features imagery and literally that of bulls. There are many bull gods in Egypt, most famous of them the Apis, god of fertility, the cycle of life and death, and eventually heavily linked with Osiris. This section of the game focuses on Bayek's constant experience with that cycle.
What is this God's forsaken place?
God's forsaken, not God. Keep it to their polytheism. Here we've got Bayek offering his heart to the scales of judgment, getting to see firsthand his guilt on if he's worthy of passing into the field of reeds given what he's done. The serpent is Apep, god of chaos and destruction, and also the devourer of hearts when they are found heavier than the feather. The god in myth is locked in eternal combat with the sun god Ra, who you will recall links with Amun. Bayek is eventually fighting for his heart to not be devoured by the serpent, to find forgiveness within himself to move on from Camus' death, and just like any man, we gotta use violence for that. The ship we are riding is also from Ra's myth. This vessel Ra would ride across the sky to grace the world with sunlight. It was also a funerary practice to have a ship for the dead to sail safely through the underworld. I really gotta give it to Ubisoft. They really did their homework when it came to integrating Egyptian culture and myth into this story.
Ground!
Classic Ubisoft having a blood trip scene. We never learn what Camus says here, and I love that. All that matters is that Bayek smiles and their embrace.
Praise to him who will deliver us all.
Like, literally, Bayek is that dude Osiris. Okay, you guys get it, I'll stop.
North, to set the sea aflame.
Oh, I love them. Such real human moments between these two.
I was sent by Apollodorus.
So many little moments like this that I truly believe weren't in the script and were just ad-libs by Abu Bakr Salim. Just there's those little bits thrown in there do so much to humanize Bayek and elevate the somewhat bland script. Cutie jump scare.
Come on, Uncle Bayek!
Uncle Bayek! Oh, setting us up to knock us down. Getting a child killed would normally eat a person alive, but not Bayek. He's a pro. But goddamn, this is heavy. Even worse than Camus' death. This section is the most obvious parallel, as Bayek once again feels directly responsible for another child's death.
They make a poor meal, my brother.
Agni and Modi have seen better days.
The crowd love unfair fights. Do not disappoint them.
You may recognize Felix's voice. That's right, this is the same man who played Machiavelli in the Ezio games. Neat keeping him around.
Undefeated!
A little reference to Maximus Decimus Meridius. A horribly neat detail is that Shadia's death by the hands of the crocodile.
I will destroy everything you stand for, Benedict. And I will destroy all others like you.
Whatever a magi like you desires and deserves.
After what Bayek has been through on this journey through the ancients, I don't blame him for going straight to the bottle. Can we talk about Cleopatra's dress? It's regal, but also sexy, and also, I want to wear it? Let's bring back thigh windows? I guess Monster Hunter's got us covered there. Ah, he's learned how to use it. A sad symptom of making a game this size of Origins is many dialogues that would have normally been animated and even motion captured just don't have the time and budget to dedicate to it. We used to have most every cutscene be a scene with camera work and motion. Instead, we are treated to these lifeless scenes that really struggle to draw you in. And I'm sitting here trying to think of a win for it, but honestly, when it comes to the main story, it's disappointing there weren't more resources dedicated to it. And was a big reason I struggled to get invested in the story. With AC being one of the first 7th generation games and first open world games I ever played, it saddens me. So here's the rarely given gaming L for AC Origins. You know I gotta win the sauce.
Civil war is no closer to ending. I need a fucking throne.
Ooh, saving the F-bomb for the big moment.
We are Magi. We do serve and protect, but we walk alone.
This isn't exactly as dual protagonist as Syndicate wanted to be, but screen time almost feels similar between Bayek and Aya as Jacob and Evie did. And I think Ubisoft did a much better job here with it than in Syndicate. Aya and Bayek suffered from the same inciting incident, and they both handled it completely differently on emotional levels, not just personality differences like the twins. And we can see the trajectory of where they finished together from the start, mostly non-verbally from Bayek. Aya is taking it all crazy and fiery and wants more blood, and we constantly see Bayek hold his tongue, take a long stare, or in the rare event even speak up like here. All in all, this game is at its best when these two are together, but it's because of the distance they share that this tragic story could be so powerful.
That is Caesar.
Now that is a classic Cleopatra
He has arrived
look
in
right.
Alexandria.
Exactly what you
He's
imagine
heavily
her to
guarded,
look like
so
in
there's
mind.
Once we board this ship, there is no turning back. And we finish with the queen on her throne, or each of our heads on a pike.
Nice subtle way of telling the player that we in the end game now. Poor kid about to go out like a bee.
Already showing Bayek the best places to make love, huh?
Enough, Fox. It is time to make war.
And these two sex freaks have less and less of it over the course of the game. Aya's new love becomes the fight. There is some merit to the question, how's the sex, when questioning the health of a marriage.
The tomb.
Incredible. I hope you will provide me with a similar sarcophagus.
That's kind of a sad comment, knowing that, yes, they were buried together, but with nothing special about their burial. But that would be the assassin way. They are just a piece of something far greater and don't seek the honors of grand pyramids or decorated tombs.
Promise me you will bury me with my blade, so I can protect myself in the field of reeds.
Ah, the blade that Layla got. Now, this is pretty awesome. Quite literally running across the end of Ptolemaic Egypt. This is the siege of Alexandria that took down the mythologized Great Library of Alexandria. I only say that because the library is a bit overhyped as this trove of knowledge that could have propelled humanity had it stayed intact. But this moment is as pivotal for Egypt as, say, the American Revolution or the Spanish coming to the Americas. It changed the trajectory of the nation. This is classic AC right here. Running away on a chariot. Now, if I had a nickel for every time that's happened in these games, whew. Okay. It's so ridiculous and cool I don't even care. I love this
Face your judgment.
They went too far in Siwa. I knew it then. But I just wanted peace for Egypt.
Your peace leaves many wanting.
This is inevitable. A good rule always does. My apologies, Bayek of Siwa.
They've always had the right idea, and I like that our most crazy boss battle had the most normal dude of the order.
walking in the shadows of kings and queens. Who are the ones that walk in the shadows for the people?
Oh, shit. Here it comes.
We are. Something has come of all of this, and it starts right now. We must continue the fight and defend the free will of the people.
Oh, fuck. Yes. You hear that AC theme coming in for the first time in the entire game. This was kind of the perfect story to tell with the new RPG system, as the assassins haven't even been formed yet. We wouldn't need all the stealth gameplay until we are entrenched into being an assassin.
And no matter how small, our brotherhood is the only hope, and our kingdom needs no crowns. What we believe in, our values, our creed.
He's saying the things! This is the moment we've all been waiting for in this game, and it gave me goosebumps seeing where it all came from.
That for all the songs of Egypt, I will be the father I was not that day in Siwa.
His theme coming in as he's finally taken responsibility, even if he doesn't have to move forward with something better and greater than himself. Oh, you could just see it all over her face. All that regret and shame for what she's done. Seeing that Bayek was right all along.
Septimius. He took Alexander's staff. Why?
Indeed. He and Flavius had too much interest in Alexander's tomb. We start there.
The assassins haven't even clipped the umbilical cord, and we're already chasing Templars with Isu artifacts. Some things never change.
Here's the story of mankind. Bayek. Bayek.
We can see the duality in the assassins on full display between these two right here. Bayek checking on the innocent, making sure they're okay, and Aya enamored with the Isu tech, trying to understand it.
You coward! The waste of time!
I can't do it! I can't do it!
Ah yes, the classic lesson that Ezio learned in his first game. Kill absolutely everyone on the way to the big bad, but once you reach him, you realize you'll be just like him or some shit. I believe we are all tired of this trope by now, because we all recognize it's kind of baloney. But it seems that through Camus he finds it in himself to finish Flavius, realizing that he's not doing it from a place of hatred or revenge, but justice. And I love the detail that it's Camus who weighs Flavius' heart and not Bayek. Also, if we're being real, who the fuck is Flavius? What's with stories having a main antagonist who's in the background the entire time, no development, and we never see them till the end? I mean, we know why. The way Ubisoft structures their games makes it difficult to have a linear narrative, but like Far Cry 5 was able to do it. Anyway, I think it's to parallel the assassins. Flavius was the one in the shadows the whole time, and they had no idea!
I have assembled a group. This is Brutus and Cassius.
Excuse me? Girl assembled the Caesar Assassination Avengers over here.
Everything has told us our love is impossible.
You are right. Something bigger has called us. But our love lives in the duat.
Only now we are letting go.
Let the gods decide.
I like the inverse of the man chasing the cold woman. Traditionally, it's a woman trying to break down a man's walls to get to him. And this is just heartbreaking to see. Aya knows that she can't be with Bayek the way he deserves. Bayek wants to do everything he can to try. The death of Camus and how each of them have chosen to deal with it is just incompatible.
Assassinate. We assassinate only those who deserve it. The few sick souls who try to control us. But they will never know who we are. Cold, calculated, poets of the kill.
I am fine with this.
Fuck goosebumps every time I watch this scene. Also, about that. The assassins are the worst kept secret ever.
I am not a father anymore. I am not a husband. I am not a Magi. I am a hidden one.
He is death, a force of nature here to correct the world anytime it strays off its path. I love how the creed was only born of tragedy, and anyone we ever see join it have also faced and seen such tragedy, to protect those who cannot protect themselves, and to shield them from sharing those same experiences. This is why Camus' necklace of the eagle skull has become the assassin symbol, the first casualty of the Templars becoming a martyr that shaped everything the assassins have become, along with the eagle representing their ties to the Egyptian god Amun, god of the air, flying high above and silently to their target. The underneath of that skull is the last thing they will see before their death. Fucking brilliant symbol for the creed.
To you of now.
A new creed.
And this is the culmination of Bayek's arc. Without Camus, was lost. This entire game, we see him struggling with no longer being a father, trying throughout to still be so, but always failing. He now sees the only option is to become father of the Creed.
Your order, and the rotting corpses of your Gabignani.
The first feather marked with blood. Aya brought the blood to the Creed. Bayek brought the humanity. Subtly seeing how the assassin's iconography was born is pretty neat. I love how they show don't tell with this. The red sashes, the hoods, it's all from happenstance of their Egyptian culture and what Aya could find lying around to conceal her to get close to Caesar. If ever a large political figure is murdered, you can bet the assassins were behind it somehow. Really curious how they're going to spin this trend when we get to the JFK.
Requiescat in pace, Caesar.
With Aya's work in Rome, we see why the assassin presence in Ezio were so influential to the Creed. It basically becomes the second home to where the Creed was born.
I believe in you.
It's a little culty, ain't it? Like, Bayek didn't even want her to do that. Tradition and devotion go hand in hand.
Should we take him to the bureau?
No. I'll take you home.
Hey, good guy Bayek not grooming new recruits like the Jedi, just, taking them as their own son. Aya takes on the name Amunet, and Bayek eventually Amun. These gods of Egypt were the greatest of their pantheon. With them birthing the Creed and wanting to live on, literally, and foster its legend, it was the best choice to pronounce their given names, and it's not about them, and they dedicated their life to the Creed, to the fight. Also, it literally means the hidden one.
May your victories multiply.
And though they are apart, we know they still share love for each other. Just look at that little smile and...
Papa? Jump.
Bringing us full circle with Camus' inability to perform a leap of faith. AC Origins is quite an interesting game. On one hand, it was a huge gamble and experiment, while also trying to tackle something as huge and sacred to the fans as the birth of the Creed. I would say Ubisoft trying to do both at once hurt both sides of the game. The moments of seeing the Creed come into existence was fantastic, but it was more flashes of greatness than something consistent that I was engaged with. And this greatly comes down to the pacing of the leveled world and just the scenes themselves. There is a really good story here, and upon reviewing it for this script, I really appreciate Bayek and Aya's story much more than my first time around. But I can't shake the feeling that there was a lot left on the table to explore with this. Going into Ptolemaic Egypt was a huge undertaking, and seeing the sheer amount of ways Ubisoft has integrated the culture and myth, not just into the story and gameplay, but also the foundation of the Assassin's Creed, it is nothing short of remarkable. This was also the perfect setting to do it so, as the Creed has always felt a little bisected and at odds with itself, and why the Roman side of the story is so important. Especially considering their most popular characters from Italy, they had to have the Creed be somewhat born there. I think Ubisoft handled the origins of the Creed quite well. It felt natural and not like a fan service grab to show all the things we associate with Assassins on what they came to be. A lot of it is implied and only shown to us. The most explicit they got was showing how the logo was formed, and even that was beautifully done. That's when Origins is at its strongest, when we're seeing how the Creed came to be and why. It's at its weakest pretty much anytime Cleopatra opens her mouth, or anyone talks about the Order of the Ancients. I never was interested in even one villain the way I was invested in taking down Hatham or Cesare. Creating a villain is hard, especially when you go through him quicker than a Bayek's knife through Camus. I will say, though, I'm glad to finally see the story unfold, but I can't say it leaves me excited and optimistic about the future RPG AC games. You may have noticed I haven't uploaded in 2 months. Partially, it was me just trying to force myself to get through this damn game, and another was just being stuck with what the hell to say about it. And I think I've come to the conclusion that it's time for this channel to do what AC could never do and put the franchise to rest. Maybe someday I'll cover the future games, but they are just not for me, unfortunately. Which is heartbreaking to say because at one point it was my most beloved franchise. AC is for a new audience now. That's okay. In the world we live in, it's evolve or die. People lose interest, grow, move on, and I completely understand that. It's not too dissimilar to what happened to Bayek and Aya. They fought their hardest to keep the love they had alive, but in the end, it was time to move on and find new purpose for themselves. And through that, they were able to become their best selves, and I think that's the lesson to take away from AC Origins. Change is inevitable, and dedicating yourself to something in decay is only a road to sadness and disappointment. Finding purpose is what we all are here to do, And even when you leave that thing behind, the love you had for it, that doesn't diminish. It doesn't have to end. It just evolves. Bayek and Aya still love each other, even if they are worlds away, and they've never been happier. I'm speaking these words to you from experience, as I myself am struggling to let things go. Our lives are that of constant growth and change, and we shouldn't fear that. Embrace it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and all I ask is that you love one another. I'll see you later.